Welcome to MissouriNet.com. I'm Bill Pollock along with Jason West from MSHSAA. Another busy week as we get ready with state championships. We've got round 2 today of boys golf, spring softball coming up this weekend, and also track and field. Jason, how's everything going?
So far, so good. A great start to the week yesterday with golf. Had some very entertaining rounds. Have some good races heading into today's competition at all 4 of the venues, and so we're hoping to have another good day on the course as well.
Yeah, I was looking at some of these. The one that jumps out for me is Class 2 after the first round. Corey Franks from Blair Oaks shot a 67. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was one of the better rounds, and hopefully he can continue that good shooting through today. But he shot a 67. There were also Damon from Centralia and Walker from Southern Boone, as well as Jack from Father Tolton. They shot 70, and so there were actually five golfers that shot under par at the Class 2 championships at River Cut. So hopefully we can have some great scores like that again today.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not saying that any of these other scores are bad by any means, because I'll tell you, if I'm shooting like 67 after 12, I'm pretty happy. So
I'm happy if I'm shooting 67 after 3.
Just incredible. So where are these taking place? All over the state?
We have 4 different courses. Class 4 is at Sedalia Country Club. They're in Sedalia. The Class 3 tournament is at Silo Ridge in Bolivar. And then the Class 2 tournament is at River Cut in Springfield. And then the Class 1 championships are at Meadow Lake Golf Course over in New Bloomfield. So we have a number of different courses that are kind of on a rotation that are used each year, and those are the 4 courses for this year's tournaments.
And if you want to get the score updates, of course, you can get them at MSHSAA.org and also at MissouriNet.com. That's the screenshot we were sharing there. This weekend is spring softball. I think this is the second year now that you've actually had a state championship.
Yes, we've offered spring softball for a few years, basically an exhibition season for those teams. But this is the second year that it's an actual championship event. First game of the day on Friday will be a rematch of last year's championship game with Kennett and Crest Ridge. So looking forward to that. Crest Ridge comes in undefeated on the year. Kennett has not too bad of a record at 18-7 itself, but looking forward to that rematch. And then the second semifinal will be West County versus Stockton, kind of the surprise of the field.
Yeah, Stockton is 15-11, and West County at 18-2. So we will have one of the finalists will be new this year as Kennett and Crestwood face off in the semifinal, the first one, which will be take place at 5:00. And as you mentioned, Crestwood undefeated. So a lot of pressure there, but a chance to get that revenge after finishing runner-up to Kennett, so they can stick it back to them.
Exactly. That's going to be fun to watch to see what kind of pressure that Crest Ridge has on itself, and to see if they can go back to the championship and maybe improve on that finish. But looking forward to a fun weekend with 2 teams that have been there before, and then 2 teams that are relatively new. Stockton is certainly not new to state championships. Their girls basketball team has been to the Final Four for a couple of years and won a state title not too long ago in girls basketball. And West County had a very good record last year and was upset in the quarterfinals. So they were just 1 game away from making it last year. So it should be a lot of fun this weekend watching those 4 teams play it out.
And a good thing I'm getting out of town here in Jefferson City this weekend. The Class 1 and 2 track and field championships, always a lot of participants, a lot of fans. It's actually a pretty fun weekend around here. A lot of a lot of people show up to cheer on those athletes. But that's going on this weekend as well, and weather should be okay. Maybe some spotty showers, but should be all right.
That's true. With the new class system for track and field, now we have 5 classes instead of having 4. This is the first year for that. So this weekend with just classes 1 and 2, the schedule will hopefully play out well enough that we can hold off and get everything in before the possible rains hit later on Saturday. But still looking at probably having close to 800 athletes. We have just about 200 in each class, and in each for boys and for girls in each class. So good number of participants this weekend, and hopefully like you said, Mother Nature will enjoy watching people run around the track for a little while.
Jason, we got a couple minutes left, so I want to talk about some of the amendments. There was an election that held up. Let me call these up on the screen. I think there were 11 of those. Can you talk about the amendments, maybe some of the big ones? And of course, we'll have this linked at MissouriNet.com with this video. But you talk about some of the big ones?
Like you said, we had 11 proposals that the membership voted on. They all passed with either the majority or there were a couple of them that required a 2/3 majority to pass, as they dealt with the amendments and not necessarily just the bylaws. But the first 3 there kind of clean up the requirements for membership and being a kind of outline some of the accreditation possibilities that schools must go through or have to be eligible for membership. Another one also cleaned up the language and added an actual application process for becoming a membership. Up until now and until this amendment passed, schools just wanted to, hey, I'd like to be a member. Okay, well, this is what the costs are involved of registering for sports and things like that, and they were members. But now this kind of puts a little bit more into it. An application process is involved, and then making sure everyone is on the same page with the requirements of membership and in compliance with those. That way they're hopefully will help eliminate some of the problems down the road of, oh, yeah, that's right, we didn't know we were supposed to be doing that. So that's what that's there for. Another one dealt with the amateur and award requirements and actually increasing the value of merchandise that an award winner can get from $100 to $250 for any one item. It also there was one that dealt with residency and the transfer requirements that amended some language in there that well, on one of the exceptions when transferring from schools to schools. And then there was some other language about things during the summer and sports and clinics and camps and doing same sports, same season, those type things. One of the probably one that maybe get the most is proposal number 7, which deals with the number of contact days within the summer period. That was one of the closest votes of the 11, and that one passed, which cuts down the number of contact days from 25 to 20 days now that each sport can have practice times and or games under the school teams from 25 days to 20 days.
I'm sure that one got a lot of, is that more football related?
Yes and no. It's really the 25 days of contact were put into place a couple of years ago to kind of help schools, parents, athletes, coaches with the guise of helping them schedule their summer and knowing, okay, I've got these 25 days out of the 90 or so during the summer that I can participate with the team. I know I've got baseball this day, or I may have basketball this day. We can have a football practice on this day. And so I was hoping to help with that. What it ultimately turned into was there was something every day of the week, and it didn't necessarily allow for much off time during the summer. And so going along with the dead period and lowering the number of contact days, that was one of the big rationales behind that, is to help get some of that summer back for the teams and the athletes, coaches, administrators, everyone involved.
I'm sure another big one is like the transfer and residency rules. Does that come up a lot? I mean, I would think that would be a touchy subject with some sports.
It can come up a lot. In the original days of the association, when it was first put into practice, and really it's still the rule, when a student transfers from school A to school B, they're ineligible for 365 days. And that is hopefully there to hinder I don't like this coach, so I'm going to go play here, or I don't like this team's colors, so I'm going to go play here, and kind of the school shopping just to find a place to play and not have the emphasis on the academic side and the educational process. Over the years of the association, there have been exceptions added to that rule. So if there is a full family move from, say, a Joplin to a Hannibal, that's clear across the state, then that's obviously there's a reason for that outside of I like red and black more than I like maroon and blue. So there were some exceptions added to that. There were the hardship and waivers and things like that, exceptions added. So they're up to 10 exceptions now. And so this kind of helps clean up some of that language. And as society changes, the language and different examples need to be added to that to help the membership know what situations fall under which exemptions.
What would be the best step for a parent to take in that situation? Can they contact your office, or should they work with the schools? What's the best way they can handle that to make sure that from a parent standpoint, they're doing the right thing so that their son or daughter would remain eligible and not fall into any traps or troubles?
What we tell parents, if it's their first question or first inquiry into the process, we have them talk to the athletic director at the school they're going to be going to and make that first contact. First, that helps establish a relationship there with the local school. And then we hope that athletic director can steer them down the correct paths and give them all the information that they need to have, because there are forms and information that will be provided between the two schools that need to be started, and hopefully that conversation can get the train rolling with that first contact between the parents and the athletic directors. And then from that point, if it is a unique situation or one that's not covered in the manual, then the athletic director from the receiving school can contact our office and we can work with them. But we want to help establish that contact between the parents and the new athletic director as soon as possible and have as much communication between those two parties as we can.
All right, good stuff. Well, Jason, as always, thanks for the visit, and hopefully we get the track and field in this weekend with no issues and the weather starts to clear up and get these championships rolling.
That sounds like a great plan.
Yep. Thanks a lot for the visit, and remember to check us out each week at MissouriNet.com. Thanks for watching.